Okay, so page 2 of our Making Connections lab. What is your pulse rate? Your pulse is a result of the expansion of blood vessels that occurs each time your heart beats to send a surge of blood through your body. You can feel certain blood vessels pulse as this happens. Two different ways to take your own pulse are illustrated below. Choose the one that works best for you. As you press lightly, you should feel the pulsing of blood. If you cannot locate your pulse rate after a short time, ask your teacher for help. It's going to be hard to ask me for help if you are not with me, but we'll get through it. Well, there's different ways that we can do this. So you're taking your wrist, and let me get in the camera here, and you want to be on the thumb side of the wrist, okay? And you want to use your middle finger and your ring finger, and you're going to place them. You can see how there's like a tendon there. You want to place it right next to that tendon, and you want to relax your wrists so that you can feel the pulse there. And you don't want to push too hard, because then you're gonna smush your blood vessel, and then it won't work either. And so the one picture has you doing it, with your hand like this, and the other one has you reaching around. Either one will work. And if you really, really can't do that, you want to use right here on your neck, use your fingers to take your pulse rate. You should not use your thumb because you have like a pulse in your thumb and it'll confuse you. So you're going to find your pulse, make sure you can measure it, because you're going to be timing yourself for 20 seconds. So your pulse rate is a measure of how many times a minute your heart beats. You're going to count the number of pulses you can feel in 20 seconds. Record the number below and then multiply it by 3 to determine how many times your heart beats in 60 seconds. Because if we do 20, 40, 60, that's a whole minute. So instead of counting for the whole minute, you can do 20 seconds, and we're going to multiply by 3. So then you're going to wait a minute, take your pulse again, wait another minute, do it a third time. So I embedded a little countdown timer for you. So you'll hit the timer, start counting your pulse. You're going to write it in this box here. This is a text box for you, the tan box. And then you're going to multiply that number by 3 to figure out how many times a minute you have your heart rate is or your pulse rate. Okay. Once you're done with all 3 of these, your pulse rate, it should be about the same each time. For accuracy, it's often better to take 2 or 3 readings about a minute apart and then average them. So now you're going to calculate your average. You want to add up these 3 per minute pulse rates and then divide by 3. And then you should get a number that falls somewhere in the middle of those 3 numbers, okay? Then you're going to record your pulse rate on the board, which I have a substitute for that, so that everyone can see the pulse rate data for the entire class. And that's what this added link is down here. There's a separate link for each class period. So I have one for period 1, period 5, and period 8, and it's on the slide that you're on. So you're going to click the link, and it should open another document for you. It's a spreadsheet. Okay, so when your class period spreadsheet opens up, this is what it looks like. I've already put in everybody's name. So next to your name, you're going to write down what your average pulse rate is, okay? And let me just move this. You can see there are 2 sheets down here, okay? You want to make sure you're on the pulse rates one. The other one is for another activity that we're going to do later. So you want to make sure you're on the pulse rates sheet.